So today we're going to do an economics question, and the question today is: the building of wind turbines may lead to a negative externality or eyesore or visual pollution. With the use of a diagram, explain how the building of wind turbines may affect house prices in the area in which the wind turbines are located. So first thing I'm going to say is that there is a model answer guide also on my website. I've left this information down below, so you can basically click that and you can see some more about this question. As for the model answer guidance, so basically the question asks you to explain how wind turbines may affect house prices within the local area, and you can add some background knowledge with this type of question if you want to, but it might not get you marks all the time. If you want the maximum marks, it's always the best to try and stick to the question and do it in the least amount of time possible, because you get more time for the other questions in the paper. Now, first of all, the definitions I would start with. Now, this question is in the market failure spec of the economics A-level. I would start with this definition. So definition: market failure, the inability of the free market to generate maximum social welfare given scarce resources. Now, the next thing, it mentioned negative externality or eyesore or visual pollution. The next thing I would define would be negative externality, and that would be an external cost to society from economic activity. The next section is where you start addressing the question and start really racking up the mark. So it's an explain question, so they're asking you how this affects that, right? So what we're trying to explain here is how wind turbines affect house prices. So how is it that the building of wind turbines can affect the housing market? I mean, what would you do if you were buying a house and there were wind farms next door? How might that make you feel about that purchase? You might think that's going to be an eyesore. It might lead to lower desirability for that house. So it could lead to a lack of demand or a shift inwards of demand in the housing market. So what you would do is you draw a diagram and label the axes, and you'd explain. One thing I would recommend doing is explaining the movement towards the new equilibrium. So don't just draw the diagram and say, here's D1, here's D2. Explain how you got from D1 to D2 and the movement to that new equilibrium price. Overall, in this question, you're just trying to explain that the negative externality cause is a lower desirability for housing, and that is causing a decrease in price in the market. But on the other hand, you could argue that if there are new wind turbines being built in an area, you could argue that there's actually going to be more jobs in the area as well. So you could argue that what's going to happen is you're going to get more like an influx of workers into the area, and they're going to need housing too. So you could put that into, you could say that actually the decrease in demand might not be so bad, because workers need a place to live, and most people prefer to live nearer where they work rather than further away. The diagram that you would draw: D1 shifting to D2, a decrease in desirability for houses. But is there another diagram that you could draw? You could draw a negative externality diagram, and basically you could explain how they're being overproduced. That's something you could do. It's a bit loose, but you could do that if you wanted to do that. What else could you do then? You could talk about the price mechanism too. You could do this within the section with the diagram. You could explain how the price mechanism is at work here, and how that is creating the signals in the market that's shifting the market to a new equilibrium position. If you'd like to get more information about model answers, you can always go to my website, and there's plenty of material there. If you enjoyed the video, please engage with it somehow. Give me a like or subscribe, or if you've got a question, please get that to me as well, and I'll do my best to get back to you.